We're learning from the study of the 10 Sfirot, first part. We're in page 11 in the Hebrew book. And there's not one thing in the entire reality that is not contained in Ein Sof. You can ask questions at Kal.TV, and selected questions will be aired during the lesson. The study of the 10 Sfirot, the first part, in our Histaklut Pnimit, in our observation, chapter 1. There is not one thing in the entire reality that is not contained in Ein Sof. Contradicting terms in our world are contained in Him, in the form of He is one and His name one. Item 1. Know that there is not an essence of a single being in the world, both the ones perceived by our senses and the ones perceived by our mind's eye, that is not included in the Creator. For they all come to us from Him. Can one give that which is not inside him? This matter has already been thoroughly explained in the books. We must see that these concepts are separated or opposite for us. For example, the term Chokhmah is regarded as different from the term sweetness. Chokhmah and sweetness are two separate terms from one another. Similarly, the term operator certainly differs from the term operation. The operator and its operation are necessarily two separate concepts. And moreover, with opposite terms, such as sweet and bitter, these are certainly examined separately. However, in Him, Chokhmah, pleasure, sweetness, and our operation and operator, and other such different and opposite forms are all contained as one in His Or Pashut. There are no differentiations among them whatsoever, as is the term one unique and unified. One indicates a single evenness. Unique implies that everything that extends from Him, all these multiplicities are in Him as single as His Atzmut. Unified shows that although He performs multiple acts, there is still one force that performs all these, and they all return and unite as one. Indeed, this one form swallows all the forms that appear in His operations. This is a very subtle matter. Not every mind can tolerate it. The Ramban has already explained to us the matter of His uniqueness as expressed in the words, one, unique and unified. In his interpretation to Sefer Yetzirah, the book of creation, he explains the difference between one, unique and unified. When he unites to act with one force, he is called unified. When he divides to act his act, each part of him is called unique. And when he is in a single evenness, he is called one. Thus far, his pure words. By saying unites to act with one force, he wishes to say that he works to bestow as worthy of his oneness, and his operations are unchanging. When he divides to act his act, meaning when his operations differ, and he seems to be doing good and bad, then he is called unique, because all his different operations have a single outcome, good. We find that he is unique in every single act and does not change by his various operations. When he is in a single evenness, he is called one. One points to his atzmut. where all the opposites are in a single evenness. It is as the Rambam wrote, in him, knower, known, and knowledge are one. For his thoughts are far higher than our thoughts, and his ways than ours.
Questions? Are there any beginners here? No. Okay, so you go. Yeah. You? I have no one else to respect. I'd be glad to, but...
It says that our actions differ from each other, and God forbid there's a good operator and a bad operator.
Like we feel that from one good force, were you to say the force is neutral, okay, I'll understand, but that you're saying that it's good, and I feel times good, times bad, so how could it be? So in a different place, he explains that people started thinking that there are two forms of the upper force, a good creator and a bad creator, and there is a struggle between the two, and many other actions, so there are many forms of good gods and many forms of bad gods. Like the Greek mythologies and so on. You have plenty of such examples. This concept of one is very hard, because in our world it's unperceivable into that, I don't know how to put it, matrix or form, or how could it be? One, unique and unified. He is the only one who's operating. He does the good and the bad throughout all of history to all people, and according to his actions, you can't say what's good, what's bad, because your brain divides it in all different directions. And therefore, you see, however many beliefs and religions there are in our world, the definition of one, no one can accept. Same goes for the religious person. He prays for the Creator to rid him of his troubles, meaning, I get these troubles from the Creator, so I ask Him to rid me of them, as if the Creator gives me trouble. A person doesn't understand how to correctly connect to the upper force, who is 100% good. If so, what prayer can I make? Just tell me. What prayer or plea can I say? Terence, can you say? What? I have to ask. Otherwise, I can't hear a Koka saying anything. He's sleeping all the time altogether. If you'll ask, at least he'll talk. Yes.
Je pense à cette définition qu'il a donnée de 1. Et j'ai en tête en même temps cette image où hier il y avait plus de 100 000 personnes qui marchaient dans la rue à Paris pour cette force.
I'm thinking of the interpretation he gave about one, and then what pops to my mind is this picture that over 100,000 people were walking in Paris.
They say 1 million.
Yeah, 2 million maybe.
Well, so they added some, okay.
Is that the same force that the Kabbalists speak of? The force that we saw on TV last night? That millions were walking on the streets of Paris?
So what if they went to...
They said that they're walking for unity.
The French, they're giving me a hard time. Look. Each nation is multifaceted, various. Who could make a revolution? Only the French. It's there like, with the Josephine, it's all... Only the French could. The Bastille and all. Nothing's left of it, only the place. But look, I don't understand the kind of neglection there was. It's a concealment from above. I'm telling you, concealment from above. I traveled all through France back then, where they had to decide European Union or not. No, I wasn't traveling. I was with the whole family, with my brother and my son, and it was France and Switzerland. We had to visit many of our friends, relatives. There was no choice. And I was amazed by how much the French, in Germany, by the way, it was much less, how much the French were all about having this European Union, making it happen. How they're all talking only about the money, not common language, not the culture, neither education, nothing. Only money and army will cancel the borders and will create a single euro for everyone. And what? It's oriented so from above in order for Europe to fall into this kind of a problem. And that's one thing. Another thing is how to give people, how can you let them come, settle down in a country which is very, it has a very clear face, very clear. France. Go into the small villages, I know it. It's a very specific type of people. How can you let? It started from Algiers, which was a colony. That they started allowing them free entrance. How could you? So today you have how many? I don't know, 10, 15 million foreigners. 25%? 10% I read. 25%. It's not a problem. It's not a problem if these people were to enter the culture, the education, the language, the everything that there is in France, and they wanted to be French, really, to become French, no problem, regardless where you're from. If you are integrated of the culture, the spirit in that place, that's it, you become French. But what? They allowed people who are against taking on themselves this form, they let them enter. And there is so much in number, there's so many in number today that you can't do anything about that. So what were they thinking about? I don't know. It's this something that can only come from above. And same with Germany and in England. It's all over Europe. It's start from England. They said, okay, we reigned there, we governed there, okay, we stop this now, and you can come to us. And I remember it was a big ruckus about it. It started in the 70s and so on. And now there's nothing that you can do. But wait until Europe will start exploding as a result of these different cases. It won't become any easier.
pas cette force? C'est ça que j'aimerais savoir.
What I'm asking is, yesterday, while all these millions were marching on the streets, did they have the force of the Creator within their unity, or didn't they have it?
Of course, it's nicely organized from above, and there is a good and nice development to it, but I don't believe that it can influence the people. In a few days, you'll see that everything goes back to normal. There is no organization which speaks about unity and connection. No organization. And that's why it'll stay this way. They made some correction, and after this correction there will be more painful blows. I don't see any resolution unless through the Jews here. And the Jews there, it's hard for them to leave and come. They're very French. They're even more French than the French themselves. They're very immersed there inside the culture, the everything. And they're also very mixed with the industry and the banks and the big commerce. If you take the Jews out of there, you'll see what will happen to that country. And it's not like we were there, I don't know, in the medieval ages where the Jews lived there, like Spain, Germany, France, so they were expelled and immediately the country would sink. Today it's the same, I'm telling you. If it were possible to make such an experiment.
The Jews in France are 1% of the entire population.
Check, who are they? Check, who are they? If you take 1,000 families of Jews from the higher levels, you'll see what will happen to the country. I'm telling you, it's very simple. The quantity it plays no figure here. It's only because there is a connection here to the root of reality.
What I'm trying to say is that the Jews represent 1% of the entire population, and 50% of the criminal acts are towards them.
Obviously. Sure. I don't know. We'll see. No point in talking about it. You have a question about it?
I wanted to make a program together with you that we can speak of what's going on in France, because that's what's going on in the world today.
Please, go ahead. Let's shoot together. Let's have a show if you really have what to say. To me, it's very clear what's going on. Wait, what's going to happen in Germany and all other countries. The goal of the fundamental Muslims, their goal is to show Europe that Europe is under their control. That is the goal. There's no in between. Bit by bit, they have to prove that they're in power. It's not about how many were killed or not, who yes, who wasn't. It's and that 1 million people took to the streets and all the heads of the countries came. Now it's going to be an even greater shame that the terror acts will renew, and even worse. It's like as if disrespecting altogether and totally all the international institutions. Nothing's going to help until we will be able to introduce an example for connection. We have to do it. And till then you'll see that whatever happens there, the Jews or Israel or something will be in the center of things. It has to do with all these actions of the explosions, terror, everything.
When we see all this, the question is that pops to mind is, why does the Creator shows us all that? There's two questions here.
Look, first of all, there is the matter of the correction of the vessels. In corrections of the vessels, any smallest, tiniest thing, it is accumulated, and a bit and a bit, it accumulates into a big sum, and we don't understand it, but however the Creator does it, He does it, and many things which are corrected on the still level, and no one is asking about it. It's like illnesses, problems that evoke, and so on, like these two. And most of the things, we should have corrected them on the speaking level, that you'll awaken and stop sleeping here and start awakening the generality of Israel to connect as quickly as possible and bring an example of connection to the world. This is what they're expecting us. This is what the nations of the world are expecting. The terrorists come and kill French. You have to feel yourself that you're actually the one who sent them to kill because you did not correct the world. Yes?
Once, a long time ago, you said that the true inner work can be done only in the land of Israel. Is that correct?
The gist, yes. The gist of the work. Oh, what does it mean, the work? The people of Israel connecting together, these the conditions for this, these are here. But there's also the work of publicizing, studying, disseminating. You have to do many other actions which aren't necessarily within the borders of Israel.
So there's probably really going to be an uprising, as we heard. A lot of people will immigrate from France over here. But I guess that's what the Creator wants. Maybe one of the lost tribes is in France. That's what turns out.
I don't think that there's going to be that a lot of people are going to come from France. More people will come, but they also have Quebec, Montreal, in Canada. You have plenty of Jews there. Montreal. Plenty.
Now you can hear Moshe Mano saying that there are threats on the Pope himself in the Vatican. So I'm asking, isn't that a religious war already?
Look, these organizations, they need whole and complete control over the entire globe, because by their method, religion in their aspect or concept, the way they see it, the religion of Ismail has to cover earth, the world over. Everyone has to be Muslim. And they don't care who. It could be Chinese, South Americans, regardless who and what. There's no difference. And just, become Muslim. According to the Quran, this is the future of the world. And they're They're conducting a jihad for that.
Yeah, but wait a minute. I have a 12-year-old girl, and when she hears these things, it's really scary about the IZs and the murders in France and all these anti-Semites. I want to tell you, by the way, a lot of people hear you when you talked about anti-Semitism in the world. My daughter lives in the U.S., and she also laughed about it when she heard it. And suddenly, everyone sees that in France, there's a march against anti-Semitism, and everyone used to say, "What anti-Semitism you're talking about?" And here now they all see. So now the anti-Semitism is transparent. It's clear. It's there's nothing clearer than that.
So, what do you want from me?
I'm asking you what will be with this anti-Semitism? How to overcome this?
To repeat the same until you tend to the nations of the world that you rob of the good life, that you don't allow them to live a good life, that you're ruining their good life, the nature, the everything, such cases like we saw in France and so on. It is all because of the Jews. They're telling it to your face. So start thinking, why is it so? Because what a person tells you, then start thinking maybe the Creator is giving me some kind of, is trying to give me some kind of a message. You didn't even read my booklet. It's not clear there.
That doesn't convince people. Doesn't convince people. Not even me. It doesn't convince me. How to do it? I don't know.
I know. You have to add blows. That's all there is. Either you work together because you have no choice, and through the influence of the environment over the person, you awaken the people this way, and as a result you become more subtle, and you see these processes in nature. And I'm telling you that we're sitting here, then really each and every detail, it's very hard for us to attain it. Very hard. You know that. How much time goes by until we start understanding a bit more, maybe feeling a bit more. But if you're talking about the broad audiences, everything becomes easy. It's the public opinion, the opinion of the majority of the masses, and therefore the only thing we have to do is to pull as many people as possible to it, and then you'll see that things that seem completely unrealistic start materializing. But you have no choice. Only that. And quality has to be achieved in order to bestow contentment to the Creator by bringing the whole of humanity closer to Him. Okay. So, one, unique and unified. This is a very principal term. You can't grasp it right now, obviously, because it's hard for us to understand that bad things come from the good force. Just like these and in general, and only when we reach a connection with Him, to that extent can we justify. And before that to go in faith above reason. Meaning that from the force of good comes the good and bad, just in order to give us the opportunity to teach ourselves how to correct our kelim, how to arrange them together such that there's no difference between the good and bad. By this we start being targeted, aimed at the Creator. And how do you do it? Masach. Masach above the will to receive, where we're all targeted only at connection. That's how it happens. Yes, we. How does the Creator, who's really good, that does good, and he's supposed to be one unique and unified, uses such a thing like murder and such actions? It's like a father will take one of his sons who did something wrong and will kill him so that the rest of the kids will behave nicely.
Why do you think that death is a cruel thing? That death is a punishment? Why do you think so?
I'm trying to see its influence.
Because except for these a few years in this world, you can't see anything. So it seems to you that you're rid of everything, you depart everything.
Most of the population in the world thinks that and sees that.
So that's a majority's view, and these majority don't know anything.
If the Creator wants to teach humanity something...
No, don't dictate now things.
No, I want to understand. What's He doing?
What else could you do? If you change your vessels, you'll feel it and know it, understand it. You have to correct your vessels.
I heard you just say that until we here in Israel there will start some kind of a move, nothing will change.
No, nothing will change in the world. It will only become worse. We're witnesses of the beginning of the war of Armageddon.
But you see that 1 million people take to the streets in Paris.
Yes.
The average Israeli, it doesn't move him a thing.
Yeah, these are hard necks. These are stubborn people.
Until it happens here, it doesn't bother anyone. So why does the Creator do things there if it doesn't bother the people here?
That I cannot say. I have my own explanations, but I can't say. The general plan is performed in such a way.
You said that each and every action, everything that happens is accumulating toward the general correction.
Because the Creator wants to show the entire humanity that there's no choice. They must unite. Because it's against the law of nature, against the process, the tendency of the law of nature. Everything must be connected in one mechanism. And Europe, as developed it is not connected. And even though they wanted to connect, they wanted to connect externally. And the Creator wants to show it where the flaw is. The lack of the inner connection. Civilizations, people coming close to each other, operating a common culture. We are one nation, we are one continent. We'll speak only about Europe, as if they couldn't care less about the rest of the world. It doesn't matter. But at least there should be an example of what is connection, because with respect to nature, still vegetative and animate, with respect to the Creator, humanity is becoming opposite in the high levels of the egoistic development. And the Creator wants to show them that nothing will succeed unless you start connecting. They're starting to talk about connection, unity. That's also something. They're talking about the fact that Europe is special or not, that their unity is only by having this common coin, the euro, and that they're going to disassemble this unity. So what else can he teach them to do?
He should light up the point in their heart. It's like, why does he give blows to people who can't hear, and he doesn't give them the tools to listen? What correction is there here? I mean, what is it all for?
This is all in order for the wars. Wars between the religions to occur. Later on, everyone will come against Israel. As it is written in the end of days, that's what's going to happen. And now we're starting to see the end of, well, it's not the beginning, but it's a next step.
This really gives hope for the future to come. What can we do?
Yeah, I'm looking at all these things in an optimistic way because we have an opportunity to act against it. You're weighing everyone on the same scale, but there's a difference in quantity and quality. In quantity, you have 7 billion, but in quality, there's only one trouble. In the 10 million Jews, how can you compare that to 7 billion people? Well,
look, I want to be your student. I want to do something about it. And I see that with whatever happened in France and with everything, the whole charade around it, I'm telling you truly, I saw it and it doesn't do anything to me.
These are the conditions that we are in. I understand you, and I see it according to my students. They were born here, and according to my daughters, and people here in Israel were born here. But I grew up abroad, and I feel it differently. I feel the world, the anti-Semitism, and all this attitude towards the Jews. It will come. It will come.
So what can we practically do?
We have to unite Israel to be as one kli. At that depends our salvation and the rest of the world, the whole world. And in general, the ascent to the spiritual level depends on that. And only here, and only the Jews who are now in Israel. That's enough for you. It's sufficient. You can say 3 million, aside for the children, the older people, maybe 3 million, all in all. You must reach them. You have to show them that the salvation is in connection. That's it. Yes, Eddie.
Thousands of people are watching us now here in Israel. They're watching the channel and they also like watching. And what advice can we give them in order to correctly participate in this entire process you're talking about?
The best would be if they could start learning in our campus or our workshops different such activities to learn from the internet, from our website, or to see our programs on Channel 66. Now we also have a program on the radio, 103 FM, Sundays, 8 p.m. till 9. Be connected as much as I can. We'll be happy to explain and to open up everything for them. But the inner connection is essential. I'm not talking about the groups all over the world. That's clear that we're walking towards that. But to draw more people in that direction, here specifically in Israel, is a must. Yes, Leo.
To continue what you told Eli, another big thing is the big Congress in 2 months from today.
Yes.
First of all, we're inviting all of our viewers. You can already get on the site, CapCOIL, see info about the Congress, start registering. There will be more and more content in the future to come. You can prepare yourselves. The question to you is, what is the general direction for this Congress?
A Congress of connection, a Congress of unity. I think that we should make this Congress as a place, a meeting place for all Israelis who want to know us, to be with us in an evening or a day, doesn't matter, or all for the entire 3 days, to be with us together. Whoever heard of us or saw us, not necessarily people who are really connected to us daily, rather they were in circles or something. We should have this Congress, popular Congress for the general population, For us, we can have it over here in this building, but we have to use that certain place in the exhibition gardens, in the largest hall they have. We have to use that in order to include as much people as possible, really everyone in Israel. I see it as a mass dissemination congress.
The topic is the wisdom of Kabbalah. It's a Kabbalah Congress. That's up front.
Yeah, so what? Everything we have comes from the wisdom of Kabbalah. Where else? You can speak of education for children or for older people. Whatever you speak, all our programs, everything we have, even if we don't speak in the language of the Kabbalah, nevertheless, it all stems from there. Where else can we know? Where else from can we know what to do? Where do we know the structure of reality from? All our wisdom is from the wisdom of Kabbalah. Yes? That's it? Okay. Yes, Yaakov.
You said that there is a special quality about the Israelis and the Jews they're asking, and the Jews that are immigrating to Israel.
Yes.
Like Roy said, they see things differently, and we see how Tehran is all on fire. Maybe on this upcoming Congress, we will turn to the hundreds of thousands of Israelis and that are future to come from France, like we hear, will turn to them to get together and influence the world.
Where? Over there?
No, on the upcoming Congress. We'll take them as a target audience to get to know the profound Israeli culture, our roots. I think that in their situation today, they'll really connect to it. We can turn to them.
Yes, possibly. I didn't go into this specifically, but start getting involved with the people who are organizing this Congress and affect them.
I'm amazed how many friends in the world, Kli, we have, and in Israel, that speak French, talk, write, read, and still there's a feeling that unless we come together and specifically implement all this toward correction.
I'll tell you, that's a specific problem, and it's most prominent in France, I think. We see that all the groups, Italy, Spain, Germany, maybe somehow, they can all be as groups. But France, no. France can't. And we have a problem. Just as the event, what just happened, and we hope we're through that. We don't have the force to go into the media over there and to forcefully be shown in France. We don't have the force to do that. And throughout our history with France, it was the same. With French, with the Frenchmen, it's a big problem. We also don't take enough care of them, and we don't have who to take care of. It's a problem. If a few years ago there was a group in France, right? There, I met Terence maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I don't remember when. So today, you don't even have that. It's a problem. The French culture really disconnects a person, as strange as it sounds, from spirituality. It provides spirituality in a different way. Spirituality is the French culture. Okay, we're coming close to the conclusion. No. Yeah, I'm looking. Yes, Moshe. I have to let the people who determine something.
Regarding the Congress, people from 60 countries will come here. It's a big event, close to 10,000 people. Could it be a turning point toward the good, like we talked about, toward connection, or nonetheless it's an educational process and the Congress won't help?
No, the fact that we're connected and friends from all countries as much as they can with a difficult economic state all over the world will come, that's not a problem. I'm talking about us having to draw the external Israeli public into this Congress. That's the important thing. Can we show an example that after the Congress all problems will conclude? There are no miracles here. There's laws of nature. If you reach certain intensity, even afterwards it will dissipate, but there will be changes for sure, for the better.
Will we see these changes?
Yes.
And we'll be able to show it?
Yes, even in the elections that will take place right after that. Yes. Okay, friends. Okay, yes. Who did you choose?
Question from Russia about the Congress. In March, there will be 3 Congresses, the Arava Congress, Integral Education Congress, and the Big Congress. I can make it only to one of the Congresses. Which one is preferable?
I can't choose for him. I also don't know where he's asking from. Does he belong to the Integral Education? Does he work internally? Is he coming as a friend? Or I can't say. It seems to me that the Big Congress, the 3 days in the exhibition gardens, is a general Congress. The Integral Education that will take place for 2 days is actually good for everyone, because people will learn the approach, how to take care of people, how to bring them closer to the connection. And the Congress in the antelope farm in the desert is a more internal Congress, inner, only for men, and it's more internal, so he should choose where to be. I don't know. It also depends on the means a person has. Okay, what do you have? What's with you? Well, quickly.
Look, it comes to mind the collection of diaspora.
It's not collection of people from all over the world.
Look, we have Jews from all over the world here in Israel. We have different synagogues for every culture from Jews around the world. So the Congress is the collection of diaspora.
Okay, we'll think about it. And in the meantime,
we are inviting you to a first free lesson in the Arava, in the Sapir industrial area in the south of Israel, and Keys of Life in the Russian language in Rishon LeZion. We invite a Russian audience to an exciting evening by the wisdom of Kabbalah about love as the path of happiness. Today, Monday, 7 p.m., 42 Agana Street, Rishon LeZion. Studying in the evening. This evening, 6:45, we're inviting you to study tests with Dr. Laitman. Have a great day and a great night.
How good to be together with you. How good to be together with you. How good to be together with you. To be forever, yeah, to be forever with you. Need each other to survive. Together we can feel alive. We are born to leave the darkness for the light. Need each other to survive. Together we can be alive. We are born to leave the darkness for the light. We are branches of one tree, rooted in each other's lives. Voices of one harmony, all as one begin to rise. We are branches of one tree, rooted in each other's lives. Voices of one harmony, all as one begin to rise. Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. How good to be together with you. How good to be together with you. How good to be together with you. To be forever, yeah, to be forever with you. Need each other to survive. Together we can feel alive. We are born to leave the darkness for the light. Need each other to survive. Together we can be alive. We are born to leave the darkness for the light. We are branches of one tree, rooted in each other's lives. Voices of one harmony, all as one begin to rise. We are branches of one tree, rooted in each other's lives. Voices of one harmony, all as one begin to rise. Na 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 We are branches of one tree, rooted in each other's lives. Voices of one harmony, all as one begin to rise. Voices of one harmony, all as one begin to rise.